Dominica's tourism minister unveils a strategy to boost arrivals while simultaneously improving air access into the country. Former Freedom Party leader Sir Brian Alleyne believes in the potential of the new Freedom Party to make a big impact on the local political landscape. And Dominica to diversify exports to a new produce market in the United States. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details in a moment. Topping the news, the strategy for improving air access going forward will be to piggyback on international airports within the region serving major international airlines. Tourism Minister Senator Robert Tong said the plan is to increase arrivals while preparing for the construction of an international airport.
It might take, 4 years to build, 4 to 5 years to build an international airport. So it means we have to start building up our numbers to catch up that to make it more sustainable. So what we have done is that we have realized that we don't have an international airport, but there are many international airports around us. So what we're planning to do is to use them as our hub.
A plan has already been worked out to have new airlines and add flights on existing airlines from other airport hubs.
You had you have Norwegian Airlines coming into Guadeloupe and Martinique. They've increased the number of flights. We're working with Air Antilles. So once that flight starts, the intention is that there will be an Air Antilles flight that will now take you from Guadeloupe and bring you to Dominica the same day. So that's one strategy. The other strategy is we're working with TIA, who are operating out of Barbados and St. Lucia. Coming October, they're also planning to operate out of Here Now. Here Now has a significant amount of flights and affordable flights that people don't even know about. So that'll be another way of coming to Dominica. Even in Guadeloupe, you also have Air France are also going to be doing a flight, I think, from Atlanta. So once we can tie those things in, we can actually piggyback on the other airports to bring persons to Dominica.
Options are being explored to have direct flights from Florida, Miami, and Puerto Rico to serve Dominica.
We're also looking at two other options, which one was to have a weekly flight, especially for the divers out of Puerto Rico, and then also, very importantly, a flight direct from Miami into Dominica. And that will allow persons not to have to do all that jumping and hopping into the various islands, the chances of losing your luggage and stuff like that. So we're pushing so that by next year we can have a flight coming straight from Miami. Obviously, it won't be every day. If you can have it at least once a week or twice a week. But again, that will start the movement as we continue to grow.
Tong said discussions are being held with as many international airlines as possible for the proposed Miami-Dominica flight. The idea, he noted, is to offer the service with an airline company which people are already familiar with. In other news, former leader of the Dominica Freedom Party, Sir Brian Alleyne, says he's convinced that the party's current leadership can bring it to its glory days. He served as DFP leader after the retirement of Dame Eugenia Charles in 1995. The party lost general elections to the United Workers' Party in 1995 after 15 years in office. Alleyne told Channel 5 News he thinks it's a good idea to bring the party back to life.
But Dominica needs progressive political thinking and leadership, and I think the Freedom Party can provide that. It can develop it. I mean, it's a little dormant right now, but it has the backing and the membership that can revive the vibrancy of the party. With younger people, of course. My generation is on its way out, so it needs younger people to take it and lift it up again. But I think there's need for alternative thinking and leadership in the country, and I think it should be a very welcome development.
The former parliamentary representative for the Maho constituency says he thinks the new DFP has the potential to compete with the current Labour Party administration.
It certainly has a potential. I wouldn't predict that it would necessarily overcome or anything like that, but politics is a dynamic activity. And you start small, you start at the bottom, and you build. The Freedom Party is not without its foundation and without its record. and history, and they can build on that record and that history and really revive the vibrancy that was once present in the Freedom Party. They may not be able to expect overwhelming support and success at this stage, but that's the nature of politics, and you have to work on it. Politics is hard work, huh? And I'm sure they appreciate that, people like Johnson, Boston, and so on.
And approximately 60 people from the displaced communities of Dubique and Petite-Savanne are now better equipped with life skills to adapt to their new environment. This was the aim of an almost 10-month-long Accessing Livelihoods and Enhancing Capabilities project, conceptualized by the Bureau of Gender Affairs and the Social Development Unit of the Ministry of Planning. Project coordinator Melinda Francois says there were 6 areas of focus under the project.
The objectives was to restore, rebuild, and enhance capacities of the Petite-Savanne and Dubique persons to help improve their livelihood situations, and some of the outcomes that we were hoping to accomplish was to recreate traditional livelihood opportunities and create opportunities for small business and enterprise development, as well as transfer of knowledge and skills to community leaders and community groups in the areas of post-traumatic stress disorder, disaster risk management, as well as small business training and management of humanitarian stock.
The ALEC project, which got underway in June 2016, was initially projected to have a 7-month lifespan. Francois says that while the project did help in developing the skill sets of residents from Petite-Savanne and Dubique, there were challenges along the way.
Well, yes, and some of the challenges that were not foreseen. Mostly bureaucratic processes, delays. The project also started later than expected, so that kind of created a rush. And we also had limitations in terms of the persons being displaced from the island, especially the Petite-Savanne community. Well, first of all, finding one location for training was difficult because persons were in different parts of the island and taking into consideration some of them being unemployed. We were having difficulties in finding a location to say where would be best.
The residents were encouraged to develop cooperatives in order to continuously reap benefits from the skills learned under the ALEC project.
We did some skills training programs, which included sewing, and we broke down the sewing into garment making and soft furnishings. Some of the other trainings included computer literacy, bread and pastry making. We encouraged the trainees to form cooperatives, so we worked with the Cooperative Development Division to do a first session with them, and they are the ones who would take them for that step. That's the next step. So persons who are interested, they've already indicated their interest, and they would form cooperatives to sustain the skills learned.
The ALEC project, implemented under the Basic Needs Trust Fund, was funded by the Caribbean Development Bank to the tune of $79,000. And Dominica is continuing to look at ways of increasing the variety of produce it exports to a new market in the United States. In May, the Minister for Agriculture, Johnson Drygo, reported that a trial shipment of dasheen to the U.S. was successful that same month. Operations manager of the multipurpose pack houses, Bristol Lawrence, says the new client in the U.S. has also expressed interest in other crops from Dominica.
Interestingly, the guy is not only interested in dasheen, but we are looking at other crops. For the last shipment, we were able to also send up some breadfruit as well, doing some trial testing to see how it will fare out on the market. So far, it's encouraging, very encouraging in relation to the dasheen. He mentioned he's in contact with about 3,000 supermarkets. So it's a large clientele that you're looking at. So it's a great opportunity for dasheen and other crops from Dominica if we're going to access this market.
Lawrence pointed out that there has also been a market for dasheen in the United Kingdom. However, Dominica must meet the standards set by that country.
Prior to the US market, we were doing regular shipments to the UK. So every fortnight we would have sent out a 20-foot container to the UK, dasheen. The only difficulty with this market, especially in the UK, is the criteria. They will want a dasheen 3 pounds and up. Okay, so about 2 months ago, we were doing the UK, and we run into some difficulties because what we realized, the dash-in keep coming smaller and smaller, and we have to do return a lot of rejects to the farmers. So we made a decision to switch to the US because we got that opportunity around the same time.
The operations manager says that plans are being put in place to increase the dash-in production on island to take advantage of the international markets for the crop.
First time we shipped about 424 boxes of dash-in, and the last time we were only able to do about 300 boxes. Okay, and that is largely due to the supply. We're trying to cater for additional 300 acres of dash-in. Okay, so we have a plan in place. The Ministry of Agriculture is going to make the necessary budgetary allocation for this, and we are hoping that we can, with this new plan, service both markets. So we're catering for a 20-footer for the UK and for the US, and we want to do them at the same time.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, what Domlec has been up to, restoring clients' power or service Monday night, those who lost service Monday night and Tuesday morning. Thank you for staying with us. Consultant psychiatrist Dr. Griffin Benjamin has acknowledged the transformation he has observed in relatives of the 5 deceased young men of Penville. Dr. Benjamin and the mental health team met with the family the Tuesday following the August Monday accident. He says he was happy to see the positive change in their behavior on Sunday after reaching out to them. He attended Sunday's candlelight vigil to honor the Penville 5.
We allowed them to exhale, talk about the pain they were going through. One of the things you observed the most were some members held on to the pain in such a manner, not voluntarily of course, but they held on to the pain in such a manner that they were not sleeping well. And some of them, when we suggested that we could help them to sleep, they didn't want to sleep. They felt that they needed to suffer because they had lost these 5 young men in such a tragic way, that it was there was this guilty feeling, survivor's guilt if you call it that. But many of them took some tablets, just Valium, and I saw most of them tonight, and they were happy to report to me that after sleeping, they were so much ready to deal with this issue.
Benjamin commended a visit by members of cabinet led by Acting Prime Minister Reginald Austrie and businesswoman Dr. Valda Henry and her sister at the first meeting with the community.
They brought a sense of urgency to the meeting because the community were very happy to see them. That gave the community members a sense that people cared about them.
The psychiatrist noted that he is satisfied that the interventions by the mental health team have helped the community heal.
Tonight, some of us came out again and we saw the happiness in the village. We saw the sense that people are accepting the fact that they are gone, they are dead. It's not something that people want to accept, but the only way to heal is to negotiate your way through a point of acceptance. So the shock, the hurt, the pain, the disbelief is being replaced now by a sense of, okay, they are gone. We must celebrate their life and we must prepare to bury them in a form of dignity and discipline.
In other news, Domlec employees were in restoration mode Tuesday after a construction truck lost control and crashed into a high-tension pole in Mero Monday night, snapping it in two. As a result of the accident, consumers of electricity in a number of areas were affected. Kinfield to Collyho, Loda to Concord, Antrim to Bells, Castle Comfort to Scotshead and Castle Comfort to Dalis were all impacted.
Our guys came in last night and did some isolation, but we were not able to remove the pole. So this morning, our team came on the scene, and I actually arrived together with Mr. Hunter after collecting all the necessary information, and his team they came in here at 9 o'clock. I spoke with him, and he indicated to me that within 6 hours, the power will be restored.
The task before the Domlec crew involved planting 2 new poles on which to test and to run the lines before power could be restored. But before that could happen, they would first have to recover part of the broken pole on which the truck came to rest during the accident. Monday night's accident also had an impact on commuters heading into the city on Tuesday morning. Drivers were diverted to the heights of Mero through Cuba Road. And the mirror accident was not the only incident that kept Domlec employees busy on Tuesday. There was another problem with the pole, this time a fire near the entrance to All Saints University on the corner of Hillsborough and Great George Streets. As a result, a number of consumers within the city were affected. Scotiabank and All Saints University, a section of River Street and a section of Riverbank from AC Low Black Bridge westwards towards the end of the lane. Customers between the corner of River Street and Upper Lane and Great George Street were also affected. That's news. Next up, your sports highlights with Kenny Williams.
First up in sports, young footballers here will get an opportunity to impress United States scouts and a chance to play more professional football soon. Recently, President of the local governing body on the sport announced the body's plans of working with Free Kick Foundation in the U.S., which could open the door to more opportunities for more of the nation's youth football development. 6 Dominicans impressed scouts in the Free Kick program earlier this year and benefited from the sports scholarship in the U.S.
The DFA will continue to assist individuals in their educational pursuits and to constantly seek opportunities for their advancement. To this end, the DFA has partnered with the Free Kick Foundation of the USA and will be staging an invitational tournament right here in Dominica on the 19th and 20th of August of 2017. This invitational will bring together 10 clubs comprising of 16 of the best under 19 players on the island. These players will get the opportunity to impress. Once they are impressed, they will be identified and given the opportunity to play in front of dozens of U.S. college and university scouts. From there, the rest is history.
ATN encouraged aspiring footballers here to maintain a healthy balance between their sport and academics.
Let me stress here that these young players must be mindful of the fact that while skill are necessary, a sound education is even more vital, since students who intend to study in the U.S. must have a decent level of education.
Sports continues with cricket, where Trinbago Knight Riders brought their total number of wins to 5 out of 6 games played when they defeated St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots in the Caribbean Premier League on Monday. The winners won the toss and sent Patriots into bat. The losing team scored 158 for 7 in their 20 overs, with the only batsman of note in that match being Shamar Brooks' 37 and Jonathan Carter's 31. Sunil Narayan picked up 2 wickets for 26 runs. Set 159 for victory, Knight Riders replied with 161 for the loss of 6 wickets in 19.3 overs. Mohamed Nabi picked up 3 for 12 and Samuel Badri 2 for 14. The next match will feature a clash of Guyana Amazon Warriors and Jamaica Talawas on Thursday at 6 in the evening. In related sports, former West Indian cricketer Joel Garner has warned England not to underestimate the challenge West Indies could pose in the upcoming Test series, saying anyone who writes off the tourists does so at their peril. West Indies, ranked number 8 in the world, last beat England in a Test series in 2009 and have not won against another top 8 side since a 2-0 victory over New Zealand in 2012. Since the 1990s, their only success away from home have been against Bangladesh and Zimbabwe. However, they held England to a 1-1 draw in the Caribbean 2 years ago. Garner admitted that the clash between the test leg of the West Indies tour and the ongoing CPL was less than ideal. Meanwhile, former West Indies fast bowler Sir Courtney Ambrose said West Indies will have to play exceptionally well to even compete against England. He said he is concerned with the way we are playing and hopes they can at least win 1 test or compete, but as a realist, he is not too sure they will. The 3-test series begins with a day-night match, the first in England, at Edgbaston on Thursday. Sports continues with basketball, where the 2017 Flow DABA League continues with a Premier and Division 1 match on Wednesday. The action begins at 7 p.m. with 767 Sports Club looking to bounce back from their previous defeat when they take on LA Knights. In their last game, 767 lost by 30 points against Kyrie FM Old School. Meanwhile, in Wednesday's second game, E.H. Charles Crossover will go head-to-head with Thunderers at 9 in the evening. All games are scheduled for the Massac hardcourt. Meantime, the Dominica Amateur Basketball Association has seen it fit to ensure there is a level of continuity in the sport with the launch of an Under-17 basketball festival here. Recently, the 7 current teams playing in the National League started a program to further sharpen their skills.
This is an initiative that we wanted to implement a good while, coming off of the tournament last year where we took part in Guyana. We decided we had to put more emphasis on our younger players, and so we introduced the Under-17 League. And then also, apart from just having the league, we realized that the interest was going away because we had exams, persons traveling, and traveling with the inter-school. So we decided to bring back all the teams together so that they can play each other, see each other play, create friendship, and just bring back the hype in that they had before in the Under-17.
Williams says the number of players targeted in the first instance is encouraging, and the association hopes to target more in the future.
It's a good start. Those are the 7 teams that are in the competition itself. This is the first one. We're going to have a series of festivals before the season ends. Again, as I said, to build the interest and to get them back into the game. 7 teams for the first year, to me, is a very good start. Instead of having quantity, we more focus on quality, and as a result, more teams would come in next year. We have an initiative of the 3-on-3. There's a tournament taking place next year in St. Martin. So we are going to introduce that tonight. There's a special ball for it. And so we're going to use that as well to get more players to get involved, because there may be communities with 3 good players and they may not have a 5. So the best thing is to take that form of basketball to them. It's an exciting form, and so that would encourage them. The other thing is that recently, I think 2 weeks ago, a week ago, Brian Zaman was here. He's a Dominican who plays basketball in the US. He did 2 camps, one in Portsmouth and one in Massac. And so we're trying to foster a relationship with him and other players from Dominica to provide opportunities for most of those players. He indicated to them by next year he will get them into an AUA program. So those are some of the initiatives. It's not just telling the kids to come and play basketball. It's to give them an outlet for them playing basketball.
And speaking of...
That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
It's now time for your weather report.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I'm your presenter, Annie Corrett Joseph. We begin this evening by taking a look at earlier infrared satellite imagery, and of interest is this area of cloudiness associated with a westward moving tropical wave expected to be over the Lesser Antilles during the evening into tomorrow. Also of interest is this area out in the mid-Atlantic associated with a westward moving tropical wave, and there is some possibility for development of the system as it moves over the Lesser Antilles by Friday. Please continue to monitor the progress of this system. Visible satellite imagery showed some low-level clouds over the island of Dominica during the afternoon, resulting in some cloudy skies. Radar imagery indicated some scattered showers over the Lesser Antilles during the afternoon. Conditions for tonight: increasingly cloudy skies with some showers and possible thunderstorm activity. Tomorrow, cloudy to overcast skies with showers and possible thunderstorm activity. Some hazy and breezy conditions expected to continue. Persons in areas prone to flooding, landslides and falling rocks, you are advised to exercise some caution. Let's take a look at marine conditions. Moderate with waves up to 7 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers, especially on the East Coast, you are advised to exercise some caution. Let's take a look at conditions for the remainder of the week. Again, tomorrow, Wednesday, a tropical wave will affect the area, and this will result in cloudy to overcast skies with showers and possible thunderstorm activity. On Thursday, slight improvement, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some showers
And on Friday, another tropical wave, a possible tropical system, is expected to affect the region by Friday. As a result, please continue to monitor the progress of this system. Hazy and breezy conditions are expected throughout the week. Tomorrow across the region, cloudy to overcast skies with showers and possible thunderstorm activity can be expected over the northern and central portions of the region, while the extreme southern portion will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some showers. On the international scene, clear skies can be expected in New York and Beijing, partly cloudy skies in London, and possible thunderstorm activity expected in Miami and Caracas. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:50 a.m. and set at 6:28 p.m. For up-to-date information, log on to our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Please remember that we are in the hurricane season. Please keep updated. Thank you and good evening.
To end the news, the headlines again. Dominica's tourism minister unveils a strategy to boost arrivals while simultaneously improving air access into the country. Former Freedom Party leader Sir Brian Alleyne believes in the potential of the new Freedom Party to make a big impact on the local political landscape and Dominica to diversify exports to a new produce market in the United States. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris, and to our viewers around the world, thank you for watching.